to introduce you to the sausages of the sausage tree. This is one of the smallest. Oh, oops. All of these I found underneath the tree while I was looking for leopard tracks. Of course, there was no chance of finding leopard tracks amongst all the long grasses underneath the tree. And this is probably the smallest that maybe fell through heavy wind or something, so it didn't develop very well. Weight is probably about 2 pounds, maybe. It's heavier than a pound of butter. What do you think? Like a 500 gram butter?
Yeah, it's about a 500 gram butter there.
Or a little bit heavier?
A little bit heavier.
Yeah, just under a kilogram for this little one. And I'm going to actually open up one of them for you shortly. This is maybe about, because half of it is missing. These are this something got into this when it was young, and these calluses that have developed are just the fruit trying to heal itself. I don't know what they could have been. It could have been a giraffe that maybe bit it, or something bit it while it was still hanging on the tree, because this is definitely repair material. This is a plant that's trying to cover up any damage that was done while it was still exposed, or rather while it was still on the tree. You can see some of the little seed pockets where some of the seeds are. There's one there. This is one that I can open up later. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but I've got a knife and I'll try and show you. They are very, very fibrous. And I need to show you because we need to learn some things, and this is the only way to learn. While they might be edible, they certainly are not palatable because of this very, very fibrous pulp of the fruit. You can't really bite. There's no ways that a human can bite into this. I mean, it's juicy, of course, and it's really looking good. But it's, I don't know, as far as taste is concerned, I don't know what it would taste like, but its palatability is zero because it's so fibrous. And embedded in all of this fiber, amongst all of this pulp, are little pockets of seed. One of the reasons why I brought a few of these is because I want to disperse them. I want to drop one here next to the dam. Who knows, maybe in 20 years' time there might be a sausage tree growing here. But they're not really going to do any good dying and fermenting and rotting underneath the host tree because they're never going to grow there. And sadly, they just aren't the consumers of sausages in this part of the world that you find where there is a very large dominance of the sausage tree. I mean, when you look at some of the big marula trees that we have here, they would be dwarfed by some of the sausage trees that I've seen further north of here, up in northern Kruger, going up into Zimbabwe and Zambia and Botswana, and even further north into Kenya and Tanzania, where I've seen leopards sleeping on a branch of a sausage tree that is thicker than any trunk of any marula that we see here. So I think, if anything, we're in a very young type of bushveld here. We see some leadwood trees that might be close to 1,000 or something. We might see some fairly large marulas and knobthorns, but they're all young in comparison to the age of some of the trees further north from here. So whatever it is that has caused this young, could have been fires, 200, 300 maybe, are here are small in comparison to some of the jackalberries. Even our big ones that I think are probably about 800 to 1,000 years old, some of those jackalberries are still small in comparison to some of the jackalberries that you find going north into other parts of Africa. Anyway, so these are the sausages. This is how the tree gets its name. This is a whole sausage, also dropped. This is probably about, I'd say maybe nearly 5 pounds, 2.5 kilos. What do you think? 5 pounds, 2.5 kilos. What do you think?
Yeah,
Easily. I mean, it's heavier than a 1.5 liter bottle of water, which is 1.5 kilos. I'd say it's almost as heavy as a 2 liter Coke bottle.
Yeah.
And it's almost the same size. So it's a very, very, very dense fruit. This one, you can see, this must be the bruise where it fell down and hit the ground. There might be scratches here from the way it passed through. I don't know what might have fed on it here. Also, a little bit of fungi and a little bit of healing going on. And another smaller fruit. So this one I'm going to go grow and make a nice big sausage tree hanging over Treehouse Dam. And I'm going to drop these elsewhere for Yuri and Pippa, and hopefully there'll be other sausage trees that grow in the future. And maybe Zoe and Rebecca, their grandchildren, will see sausage trees, because it takes a long, long time. There are a number of things that eat them. There are parrots, the brown-headed parrots, the Myers parrots, or brown parrots, love to get into the fruits to get to the seed. Baboon like to eat them. I've seen hippo, I've seen giraffe. Giraffe eat them when they're still young and they're the size of maybe a Vienna, little green sausages and very, very small. So there are a number of things that do chew into them. I've seen, but baboon, more than eating the pulp of the fruit, they actually tear it open. I've seen them trying to brace the fruit with their feet and pulling with their teeth and their hands, using all four limbs, including their teeth, to try and strip it to get to the seed, because I guess the seeds are quite nutritious. So most things they're really wanting to get to the seed. Elephant, of course, do chew on them, and they do eat. I suppose they get the moisture out of them, because if you had to compress this, you'd find there's a lot of moisture inside here. But I think the most interesting thing, one of the most interesting things about the Kigelia, this is the sausage tree known as Kigelia africana, and one of the most interesting things about it is that there is a cream and there is an extract of the Kigelia that has been proving very, very helpful, or very, very good in combating skin cancer or fighting skin cancer. And the extracts, I've actually got a friend who makes an extract, and she mixes it with a cold cream to make something, and people have used it and have had very good results. The problem is the number of fruits you need and the amount of intense work that needed to get the extract out of it. I know that there is a commercial product in Europe that's called Kigelia, K-I-G-E-L-I-A, and I'd be interested if anybody can tell me whether, because I know that from a couple of years ago, I think it might have been developed in Austria, Sharon, if I'm not mistaken. But it'd be interesting to know if it has gone any further and if there are any further developments. Anyways, having said that, and having quite extensively discussed sausage trees and their fruits, let's go and find an animal and their offspring.